Hello and welcome everyone to this week's CO2 review. I'm Thomas from CO2base.com. Today we're going to be looking at the 34th CO2 report of 2020. Before I start the review, if you're new to CO2 analysis, check out our webpage where we offer a lot of material on the CO2 report. We've got some written material, we've got some videos, so a lot of useful stuff if you are new to this report. Back to the review and starting off with our first market, which is going to be the soybeans. Complex markets are for our subscribers. But we're going to start off with the soybeans market where we have that 32% change in commercials positions. You can see that on the chart over there. If you look at the past 52 weeks, 1 year, it is no question the largest change in that time frame. It is of course a bearish COT change signal. You may see Thursday, Friday, we had a bit of a decline already in the market. This signal suggests this could continue on early next week. If we move on to the 5 years chart, then you may see that with this sudden move, we are again getting closer to bearish extreme levels. You may see not long ago we had that bearish COT extreme in July. It didn't really affect the market for too long. It did push the prices initially lower, but we are still hovering above those levels right now. You may look at this chart and go back in time on this 5 years chart. You can easily see how well these bearish COT extreme performed in the past. The next market is going to be corn, where we have a 21% change in commercials positions. And you may see that on this 1 year chart over there. It is again much greater than average. It is a bearish COT change signal coming after a decent rally in the market, suggesting we may see a little bit of a pullback in the price. If we move on to the 5 years chart, you may see that here we are actually a bit closer to a bullish COT extreme levels. We're not surprised to see that at this price range. This suggests that in the medium to long run, we may actually see much greater prices coming. Next market, feeder cattle, where we have a 21% change, again, 21% change in commercials positions. You may see that change size on the chart over there being a bit larger than average, but nothing too unusual. And of course, similarly to the previous markets, we are talking about a bearish COT change signal suggesting some weakness coming in the next couple of days. Now, if we open a 5 years chart, we get a chance to analyze the COT extreme situation, which, as you may see, is a bit more bearish at the moment. We can expect even greater extremes coming. As you may see from October 2017, we had a greater bearish extreme back then. Definitely for large speculators, there's plenty of space left for them to increase their net long position. So that's just something you should keep in mind, that there is some space left for this market to reach even higher levels. Now we're going to open small speculator COT extreme and look at the euro market, where you can see we've still got an all-time COT extreme in small speculators and commercials. Large speculators actually did not continue their net long position increases. They just fell back just a little bit. Nevertheless, it is a bearish COT extreme. And again, another example, I always say this in my videos, that you should be cautious because these all-time COT extremes could be there in the market for many, many weeks or even months before you witness a reaction from the market. So that's something you should keep in mind. Nevertheless, it does state that there's a stress level in the euro, which we've never seen in the past, suggesting there could be a significant shift in the trend, meaning we may see lower prices coming. Okay, the next market, true US dollar index, that's something very special only for our subscribers, but Swiss franc is something we can continue with. Its and here we have a 354 report extreme in small speculators, and of course you may see that also commercials and large speculators are at their extremes as well. This, of course, is a significant bearish COT extreme. Whenever small speculators are highly optimistic about a market, that usually means we could see a bit of a pullback over there, and that's something that the report is suggesting. So, of course, talking about euro before, now the Swiss franc, all these measured against the US dollar, we may actually see some dollar strengthening coming in the medium to long term. And last but not least, let's open Palladium, where we have a 180 report extreme, again in small speculators. They are pretty optimistic about future prices, but in this case, you may see commercials and large speculators still leaning towards the bullish side of the market, suggesting, I mean, there's a bullish extreme, no question about that, suggesting we may actually see higher prices coming in this metal in the next couple of months. Okay, that was all for this review. Of course, don't forget that you may do much more at COT Base, looking at new CO2 report types, other data types like the futures and options data, the options only, pretty unique only at COT Base. We offer you special data set analysis. You may look, of course, at other market categories as well. Dig deeper in the COT report analysis by looking at, for instance, multiple report changes on a defined look back period. You may do a more significant detailed COT Extreme analysis, looking at the COT index, the COT move index. We have a very useful long-term trend indicator helping you understand which direction the trend is based on the COT report, of course, and we have some volume and open interest analysis as well. And of course, you may always look going back in time and analyze specific reports a couple of weeks and month ago. Okay, that was all for this review. I appreciate your attention. Thank you very much for being with me. I wish you a pleasant weekend. Take care. Goodbye.